To those in the know, the fact that someone is a doctor is almost an anti-credential when it comes to doling out nutritional information, as outlined in this nutritionfacts.org video.
Doctors were asked a list of simple questions about diet and cardiovascular disease, some simpler than others. True or false? Does walking and gardening increase physical activity levels? 95% got that right. Good.
It's not often I find myself in disagreement with Dr. Greger, but I've got to say the fact that 5% of them didn't recognise that walking and gardening involve physical exertion, rather worrying.
On the other hand, 71% of health professionals and final-year medical students incorrectly thought avocados had cholesterol in them.
Jesus Christ, most of them were unaware that harmful cholesterol only comes from animal products. Unless they thought that avocados were from the animal kingdom. Imagine that, a pack of avocados carefully stalking their prey. Good job these health professionals are not dealing with life and death information, hey? Oh, wait.
How did they do overall?
Not too great, I imagine.
Did they get an A+, 97 to 100% correct? If so, maybe they don't need any more nutrition training. They didn't get an A, B, or C, nor even a D. 64% correct, they failed.
Yeah, so rather alarming then, considering that cardiovascular diseases are among the top killers of humans. Of course, there are the new breed of evidence-based doctors promoting plant-based diets for the prevention, treatment, and reversal of diseases, so they're not all bad. But then you have some doctors like the hilariously named CarnivoreMD. He promotes a diet purely of body parts devoid of the whole plant foods considered essential to healthy living unanimously by every single reputable nutrition authority throughout the whole world.
Welcome to my kitchen. This is what CarnivoreMD eats in a day.
What is this, a f***ing horror movie? All I can see is dismembered body parts. I think I'm gonna throw up. What the f*** is wrong with these people?
So these are the meats I eat. For me, I'm 175 pounds right now. Ballpark, I'm gonna eat about 175 grams of protein a day. So that's gonna be between 1.5 and 2 pounds of meat per day.
Yeah, I'm vegan and I get more protein than you. The difference is I get my protein from the source, from plants, instead of second-hand, along with a load of sat, fat, trans fats and cholesterol. You know, the things that drive the main killers of human beings, including killer number 1, heart disease. Not the smartest doctor I've ever come across.
We've got the grass-fed, grass-finished ribeye here. This is a Wagyu steak from New Zealand. You can see the fat is kind of orange. They're eating a lot of carotenoids.
If you want a lot of carotenoids, which is a good idea as preformed vitamin A is toxic, then eat green, yellow, orange and red fruits and vegetables. They have over 600 carotenoids and are associated with a longer life and health span.
And then if you want less expensive types of meat, I like chuck roast. This is a Wagyu chuck roast from New Zealand.
Of course, if eating meat is really important to you, but you don't want to be unethical by paying for others to murder on your behalf, you could just cut a big chunk out of your leg or ass and cook that. Many slaughterhouse workers suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder or perpetuation-induced trauma syndrome. They end up turning to substance abuse and are more likely to commit domestic violence. So if you can't widen your circle of compassion to other animals that don't look like us, perhaps you could consider your fellow man. Do no harm and all that? I believe you took an oath.
When I'm eating leaner meats like this,
is it just me, or does it look to you like cadavers get him hard? Scary.
I'm going to eat fat with it.
More artery clogging goodness. Brilliant advice. For those that are tired of living, or men that don't want their dick to work into middle age.
Honey has been in my diet recently as well. I've been playing around with carbohydrates.
Carnivore as you like. If you're going to add some carbs into your diet, which is a very, very good idea by the way, don't go for fibre devoid sugary crap. Eat some whole plant foods. You know, the food's clinically proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to actually be healthful. Oh my f***ing God. This would be laughable if it wasn't for the fact that some gullible will actually believe him and end up killing themselves. In disgrace.
When you are thinking about honey, if you want to have carbohydrates in your diet, it's really important to do something that's organic and raw.
Honey has got cool nutrients in it and is extremely bad for you. Don't bother.
Some people get worried about eating raw eggs. If you've read my book and you know my stuff, you know that I don't eat raw egg whites because of avidin, which binds biotin. I'm only going to eat the egg yolk raw.
Yeah, one of my bodybuilder mates used to eat raw eggs until he got salmonella. He never did it again. Why do you want to eat sphincter cuisine from a hen's vagina, cloaca? And especially, why would you preferentially eat the part chock full of cholesterol? Bloody hell. Eggs are far too high in choline, by the way, which pathogenic gut bacteria turn into trimethylamine, the compound from hell. If you had the first clue about the gut microbiome, you wouldn't be eating this junk nor avoiding fibre. It's key.
You just take the egg and open it up, and there you go.
Raw hen ovulation. This is so twisted.
I usually do soy and corn-free eggs.
Of course, you wouldn't want anything to do with health foods like legumes and whole grains.
I want to run you through the epicness, the amazingness, all the organs that I like to eat in a day.
Epic, awesome severed body parts. Is this guy a serial killer?
So this may look different than what people are used to.
It certainly doesn't look like food, if that's what you mean. About as appetizing as dog turds.
But remember that these are the foods that your ancestors have been eating and thriving on.
Thriving? Our ancestors died by what we now call middle age. Scraping by, more like. Anyway, in many areas we ate up to 150 grams of fibre per day. Not much room in that diet for corpses, I can assure you.
We're not used to eating them. When we say gross, it just means we're not familiar with it. There's a lot of conditioning there.
If we were natural carnivores, this wouldn't be an issue. How many people do you know that would be okay with killing and dismembering an animal? Not many. Predators don't have all the mirror neurons that we do, so they lack humans' empathy. Well, the empathy of most humans. Sounds like you've conditioned yours away.
I've got some heart. This is actually from a deer that I respectfully harvested with my bow earlier this year.
I respectfully harvested with my bow earlier this year. Why are you struggling to find the words? And why are the words you finally choose such bull? Big man picking on defenseless animals. I bet your mum's really proud.
And then you've got some bones right here. So bone marrow is super interesting. You've got red marrow here. They're from stock. So this is from a bone broth that I'm making over here in the crock pot. And when the bones are made in the crock pot, they become soft and you can just eat them. So this is a source of calcium. I think it's important to get calcium on a carnivore diet, not to forget about this.
If you were a carnivore, this wouldn't be an issue. I don't see many lions using crock pots on the savannah. No PowerPoints for a start.
And there are all sorts of unique things in bone marrow. There's red and yellow marrow. The red marrow is going to be rich with red blood cells and other hematopoietic processes. The yellow bone marrow has different types of cells, but there are all sorts of growth factors in the bone marrow itself.
The type of growth factors that give us cancer. And how come I'm bigger than you when I don't eat any of that and I just stick to plant foods?
And there are all kinds of fascinating anthropologic accounts of native peoples treasuring bone marrow.
What the do they know? Is this the science that you rely on to formulate your bonkers dietary recommendations? If so, now I understand.
Animals seeking out bone marrow. There's a bearded buzzard in Africa that brings the bones up really high and drops them down and eats the bone marrow. And it's a big, strong bird.
Do they eat anything else? Are you conflating correlation with causation? And again, why am I bigger than you if you're eating the magical bone marrow and I'm not?
So if you want to be big and strong, bone marrow is key. Don't forget about bone marrow.
Just eat your fucking plants. You do know that all this macabre, unpalatable is made out of plants, right?
And then we'll go on to liver. This is kind of the king organ.
Which filters all the toxins from our body. Not a very clever thing to ingest now, is it?
And I prefer it raw. So this is raw liver. Everybody kind of gets squeamish with the raw liver.
Yeah, if it was food for us, we'd have a very different reaction. How is he this far gone?
Getting liver is an important piece of my nutrition. And liver is critical because it has so many of the good B vitamins, which complement the B vitamins found in muscle meat.
Oh yeah? Well, I get tons of B vitamins just from eating healthy whole plant foods. Again, where do you think that the nutrients come from in the first place?
So In the muscle meat, you're going to have things like zinc and iron and B6 and B12.
38% of Americans are B12 deficient despite eating mounds of cows. And the ones that aren't got it from the supplement given to cows, pigs, etc.
And the liver is going to have more folate.
Folate, from the word foliage. Hello?
And riboflavin, as I talk about in the book, riboflavin is really hard to get outside of animal foods.
No, it's not. Here is a plan I wrote for a female on a fat loss diet, i.e. it's low in calories. The riboflavin is at 170% of the RDA without me even trying.
Heart is another great source of riboflavin.
You should get yourself a heart, you know, your own personal one and not someone else's, I mean.
Liver is also a source of selenium, zinc, iron, copper, so many amazing things in liver.
I'll just have a Brazil nut, thanks. One little Brazil nut is 164% of your RDA for selenium. And here's the mineral breakdown of the low calorie plan outlined earlier. 0 deficiencies, 0 heart disease and 0 stroke risk.
That are really concentrated there that are hard to get other places.
I feel like you're not really listening to me.
As you guys will probably know, liver is an amazing source of vitamin A, bioavailable vitamin A, which is the retinol form of vitamin A, much better than beta carotene from plants, which has to be converted to the retinol usable form of vitamin A.
Irrelevant. Again, this low calorie plan that I drew up has 3,594 micrograms of retinol activity equivalent. The requirements for the average female is only 700. Get a clue before you dish out life or death advice.
Kidney is also amazing because of things like DAO, diamine oxidase, which can be helpful for people who have histamine issues.
Which you get from eating a lot of animals.
With all of the organs, I think that there are probably growth factors and things in there that we are not even aware of that could be beneficial to the organ in our own body.
That is some great science right there. I think there could be things that are beneficial to our body. I'll tell you something, there are a ton of things that definitely are very detrimental to the body.
This is kind of the like benefits like concept, and I think it's something that our ancestors have always believed and we should not discard.
Ooga booga, ancient man say eat heart is good for heart. Yeah, ancient man had no clue about cholesterol though. This is the kind of evidence that you have to rely on if you think that eating exclusively dead bodies is a good idea.
Spleen is where there's a lot of red blood cells kind of sequestered and hanging out. So spleen is the best source of iron in the human body.
It's not. Preformed heme iron is extremely toxic to the body in high doses, whereas our bodies have the ability to seriously lessen the absorption of plant iron when we've got high enough levels in our bodies, which is easily attainable just by eating healthy plant foods.
Spleen is amazing. I really like this organ. I'm gonna eat all these raw.
Strange. Hopefully you don't give yourself food poisoning, given that you don't have the stomach acid of an actual carnivore.
Last but not least, we have a testicle. So we've got we call these fries or oysters, but we've got a lamb testicle here, and you guys can guess what is beneficial about that.
Is it good for people that don't have any balls and pick on baby animals? I've not eaten animals for 9 years and I seem to be doing okay for testosterone. It's almost as though everything this guy says is complete horse.
In terms of the like supports like concept, it's probably beneficial to be eating this for both men and women if we are trying to support healthy production of hormones.
I typed like supports like into PubMed to check the validity of your claim, but PubMed told me that you're just making stuff up.
I like eating testicles as well.
You like eating testicles? Takes all sorts, I suppose. Personally, I like a nice chickpea curry with quinoa and a lovely mango for dessert. So weird like that.
Getting organs in your diet is going to be crucial and is going to increase your health.
That's weird. The longest lived population on record ate the vast majority of their calories as carbohydrate, specifically purple sweet potato and brown rice. This diet is the polar opposite. How on earth can it be healthy?
Eating a carnivore diet is going to increase your health. Decreasing the plant toxins in your diet is going to increase your health.
From the masses of non-industry funded data that I've read, animal products are bad for our health and whole plant foods are great for our health. Have you got any data to back up your position? No, there is no data on just eating dead bodies. I imagine they can't find enough study participants mad enough to do so. We can safely infer that the more dead bodies that you eat, the quicker you will die. Anyone with half a brain will tell you that. We are what we eat, so I swerve dead meat. Strange little man, isn't he? Now click this.